Hey folks, welcome to the 2014 Nuts Cup. Coming up here are just a few movements that you may or may not see. What we'll start with is the standard for a deadlift. So, standard in the deadlift is, obviously the bar starts on the ground. From there, you're just gonna stand up tall. As long as your shoulder is over top of your hip, it's a good rep. This can be done in any fashion. It can be a squat clean or a power clean. What's going to happen is you must stand all the way up with the barbell, show that deadlift position, and then from there you can proceed to do your clean. Only rule in the hang is the bar cannot go below your knee. So if you want to give a little dip, if you want to give a big dip, whatever you want, as long as that bar gets to your shoulders, and obviously you have to stand all the way up with it once completed. Hip extension must be reached, wrist must be over top of the shoulder, shoulder must be over top of the hip, and hip must be over top of the knee, and knee must be over top of the ankle. Standard for the muscle up is pretty much the same everywhere you go. Full extension must be shown at the bottom, pass through your transition, locked out at the top. We'll use the regional standard. When you kip, your feet cannot go higher than the bottom of the ring. We want to see your hips and your chest touch the ground on every single rep, and we want to see you stand tall on the plate with your hands over your head. That is a good rep. From there, you can transition. You can go sideways onto the plate, you can go forward onto the plate, you can go backwards onto the plate, whatever you want, as long as you're on top with the hips extended and your hands are clearly over top of your head. You're just gonna start standing tall. Hip crease goes below the top of the knee. Stand up tall on one foot. Control must be shown at the top. It goes from the ground to overhead in one fluid motion. For this, guys, power snatches or full snatches are acceptable. A split snatch is also acceptable. Get the bar to your shoulder, get the bar overhead. It doesn't necessarily have to be a jerk, guys. Push press, shoulder press, whatever you want. Bar goes from the ground to your shoulder to overhead. Obviously in the clean, make sure that your hip is locked out, the bar's up on your shoulders, and then as you go to overhead, hips locked, bars overhead, show control, and then back down. Bar's gonna start on the ground. You can do whatever you want. Get it up to your shoulder, you power clean it. Obviously most people are gonna squat clean it, and then you just show control with that bar over top of your shoulder, locked out overhead. And obviously full depth, hip below the knee in the bottom of that thruster, guys. You are allowed to jump up the rope, that is absolutely fine. You must touch the green, clearly visible, and on the way back down, the rep ends with 2 feet on the ground and hands on the rope. You may not jump off of the rope. So what Kermit did there was actually a no rep. Show full extension at the start. Ankles must pass through that vertical plane of the bar, and both toes must touch the bar for each rep to count. The rules here are, if you're in a situation where there is a countdown, a 3, 2, 1 go on the rower, you may not touch the handle until go is said. And then let's say, for example, she had to row 100 meters. She's not allowed to release that handle, let go of that handle, or unstrap her feet until that distance has been reached. Now she's safe to unstrap her feet and move on to the next movement or the finish line, whatever it may be.
So what are the workouts?
I don't know.
Stay tuned.